And it seems the Occupy Wall Street protest has trickled right to the border city. This morning, a small group of people hung up posters and gathered in front of City Hall to support the movement. Starting out as a solo protest, this group grew a few more in numbers over the course of the afternoon.
Change! Change! The whole world needs change!
Receiving honks from vehicles passing by.
We're getting a lot of support from the community. A few hecklers, but if people don't understand or people are not willing or open to change. Thank you! Woo!
These guys hope to educate and bring awareness to issues that ignited the Wall Street protests.
There's a lot of big problems that need to be addressed in this world, and the first thing we have to do is realize there's a problem with the economic system that we live in that's causing inequalities between people.
Initially planning to join a group in Edmonton, Richard Gervais decided to stay in Lloyd and use the travel money towards posters.
Get everybody involved here, get every city involved, because there's 1,500 cities across the world today. This is an important day in history. Why not be a part of it?
After following the protests happening around the world, group members say it's time for them to also stand up for change.
If the world worked on profits of saving lives instead of profits of money, we'd save so many lives.
We need to find something that works for the rich, works for the poor, and takes away that gap, and everyone's equal.
And while this is the first day of local protesting, the group says it won't be the last.
As long as it takes. We got jobs, so we got to do shift work, what we can, but every chance we get, we're going to occupy this spot. More wishes will be granted for kids with life-threatening illnesses across the country thanks to the dedication of one local woman. This is the 6th year of the Make-A-Wish Foundation's annual Wishmaker Walk in Canada, but it's the first here in the border city. In this next story, we find out how a few short steps can stretch for miles when it comes to making sick kids' dreams come true.
Every child deserves to have their wish come true.
Jennifer Valier is playing the role of fairy godmother. She's spearheaded the first ever Wishmaker Walk for Wishes in Lloydminster for kids like Brandon Jomick.
After, therapy and stuff was all done, and I got to make a wish, and I got a computer, and it means a lot to me.
The walk is one of hundreds taking place across the country today, all raising money to help sick kids have a glimmering ray of hope when fighting the toughest battle of their lives.
Support me.
An avid football player, Andrew Semitat, was diagnosed with MS 2 years ago. His whole team came out for support.
He's part of our little family that we have of guys, and there was no second guessing or anything. We were here for sure.
Andrew's mom says a simple wish made all the difference.
There's no words to really describe that. When you have a sick child and then to find out that, they are doing all of this for you, for your family, your child, it means the world.
Over 100 walkers hit the pavement at Bud Miller Park, helping sick kids have a chance to just be kids again.
The Children's Wish Foundation has granted over 17,000 wishes since 1984 to children living with life-threatening illnesses.
And now even more wishes will come true thanks to the generosity and support of Lloydminster residents. Lauren Pullen, Newcap News.
The shelves at the Salvation Army Food Bank will be overflowing with more donations thanks to a local church initiative. Volunteers from the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints collected food items from houses all morning and packed them into semi-trucks for delivery in the afternoon. Close to 100 volunteers sorted and packed donated food items into this large semi-truck this morning for the Salvation Army Food Bank.
It's going really well. We went around last week and distributed flyers to about 7,000 homes in town. And today we've been driving around and picking up food that people have left on their porch. And as you can see, we've had a pretty good showing so far.
This assembly line of work just the second part of Tyler Holland's morning.
When we first came here, we had to get all the pallets ready that they're loading up food in the background now. And then afterwards, I went and helped with 2 routes. We got some pretty good food out of them.
But like many who came out, The thought of helping those in need made the event hardly seem like a chore.
It's just good to know that after all this, you've been standing out in the cold and all that some people will have a nice Christmas, Halloween, or Thanksgiving.
It's a really good cause. There's a lot of people who are in need of food, and there's a lot of people who can afford to give even just a little bit.
The inspiration, a celebration of the 75th anniversary of their church's welfare program.
So they did a church-wide initiative across the entire world to do service projects in your community. And so we decided it'd be good to do a food drive.
And the turnout of the first year of this food drive was better than the group had expected, speaking volumes about the community.
It makes me feel really good to see that people are willing to pull together and to look after those in their community who need it most.
In total, donations weighed in at 6,700 pounds for the local food bank. And we're going to take a short break from news right now. Aaron joins us at the desk with the first look at sports. We're talking about football here. Times are changing. You know, the Barons were the ones who dominated the field, but it's different now.
Yeah, the Raiders seem to be taking over that, but first meeting not close. Yesterday's a bit closer. What better way to close out the Wheatland Football League regular season than a Battle of the Border Part 2? The Raiders destroyed the Barons in the first meeting of the season in Week 4, 63-21. How would this one go? Well, let's get to those highlights. It starts off well for the Raiders once again. Late in the first, Barons backed up in their own zone. Duke Young over the middle, but he's picked off by Mike Carroll. That led to this in the early stages of the second. Colton Hippie heaves it up for Joel King in the end zone. He hauls it in for the major. It's 7-0 Raiders. After eating up a ton of clock on a 12-play drive, the Barons finally break the play on number 13. Young hands off to Jordan McCormick. He plunges his way into the house. We're tied at 7s going into the break. In the second half, it's all silver and black. Hippie pitches it to Drew Bexon. He's off to the races, 20 yards untouched, wholly in front, 14-7. To the fourth we go now. Raiders in the red zone. Mike Holman under center, hands off to Bexon. He plows his way into the end zone, 21-7, silver and black. Holy Rosary seals the deal on their next possession. Hippie back in, hooks up with a wide open Donovan Granum. See ya. He turns on the Jets and he's gone. The Raiders up 27-7. They would add a single and sweep the regular season series 2-0.
It's good to be in those games. We talked about it last week with the Cold Lake team, you know, having to battle in the second half to come out and sort of not come from behind, but sort of battle and get some momentum to win a game, and it was good to be there again this week.
We've been starting off slow all year, but we got to fix that. We just, I don't know, something about our second half, we just really pulled it through.
They have great athletes, and they made plays, and that was the difference in this ball game. But overall, I'm real happy with our performance today. Lost by 42 the first time, 21 this time, so hopefully we can maybe see them again. But I think we're playing our best football going towards playoffs.
Elsewhere around the Wheatland League, the Wainwright Commandos slipped by the Bonnyville Voyageurs 29-20, and the St. Paul Lions walked into Cold Lake and crowned the Royals 27-22. And now here is how the first round of the playoffs look. Kicks off next Saturday. The Raiders, who finished the regular season undefeated at 7-0, have a bye. As for the Barons, they travel to St. Paul to go head-to-head with the Lions, and a rematch of Week 7. The Bonnyville Voyageurs will be back in Wainwright to battle the Commandos. The Wheatland Bantam ranks wrapped up their regular season this afternoon. Another Border City battle was front and center. The undefeated Mustangs taking on the Chargers. It was a back-and-forth affair. Mustangs led by 5 at the break. And in the second half, they broke it open. 4 touchdowns, a running touchdown. Mustangs take the charge out of the Chargers, 55-29.
This is the first time that the Mustangs team has ever finished the league undefeated. And we had a tie against Bonnyville the first game, but you know what? We secured home field advantage in the playoffs. And this means a lot because even the championship team of 2 years ago finished second in the league.
The Bobcats picked up their 6th win in a row Wednesday night when they hammered the Steel 5-2. Last night, the Orange and Black were in Drayton Valley gunning for number 7. Topher Flanagan opened the scoring in the first. Kyle Harris added a pair in the second, and the Bobcats were up 3-0 after 40 minutes. The Thunder struck for 2 in the third, but so too did the Cats. Lloyd silenced the Thunder 5-2 and are now rolling on a 7-game winning streak. Tyler Briggs stayed undefeated on the season, stopping 27 of the 29 shots he faced. The Pontiacs, coming off a 5-0 embarrassment at the hands of the Oil Barons Tuesday night, were looking to spring back and slay the Dragons last night. Tanner Disk lit the lamp a couple times, and Curtis Honey stopped all 29 shots he faced for his second shutout of the season as Bonnyville blanked Drumheller 4-0. The Pontiacs and Bobcats are back on the ice tonight. The Orange and Black are in Drayton Valley for the second game in as many nights against the Thunder, while the Pontiacs welcome the Grizzlies to the RJ. After having Thanksgiving weekend off, the Rustlers soccer programs are back on the pitch this afternoon, hosting Lethbridge in their second last game of the regular season. We will start with the Lady Rustlers once we get here. Oh, here we go. After being shut out 4 games in a row, the Rustlers snapped that streak with a pair of goals, but they couldn't snap their losing streak as the Kodiaks picked up their first win of the year, doubling up Lakeland 4-2. As for the guys, they were riding a 4-game unbeaten streak after starting the year 0-4. Well, they picked up another 3 points in the standings, getting by Lethbridge 3-1. The Rustlers will close out the regular season tomorrow when they welcome the Medicine Hat Rattlers to VLA Fields.